you. Sober one more day. Glad to be here with you tonight. I figure it's going to be a minute before you come in, so I'm going to hang out. I'm looking old and crotchety and gray, but that's okay. The fight continues. Here to talk about life beyond recovery, life beyond sobriety, and what that looks like. Get something cold to drink. Hang out with you for a while tonight. Keep my commitment. Getting everything warmed up here. And there we are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Let me see. With my heart. Oh, welcome in. Peace, people. Welcome to Saturday Night with Lance. Everything recovery, questions, answers, conversations. Here tonight, I want to kind of talk about what it means to be sober, not just free from alcohol and substances, but what is sobriety like? What is life in sobriety? A lot of us don't have that conversation. And oftentimes, if you're just sober and going through the motions, that gets old after a while. And for addicts and alcoholics, things that get old and boring tend to lead to relapse. So let's chalk it up and let's have a conversation tonight. If you're checking in and you're sober, leave your sober day for us. Let's find out how long we can put together on sobriety tonight. I've been sober since March 11th, 1993 at 1:30 a.m. Hey, welcome in. Good for thank you for stopping by. Um, Appreciate you. Tonight's topic is living beyond sobriety. I mean, really life. Most people that get sober, that's just the beginning. Then we have to learn how to live our life again and begin to build a life. And that's a whole other dynamic. You know, most people can get sober, but it gets really overwhelming when you think about having to rebuild a life. For some, hey, thank you for the like. For some of us, when we're getting sober, that's the easy part. I mean, yeah, it's struggle. You go through the detox and all the that adjustments that comes in that natural like coming out of the fog place. But at some point, we find ourselves looking forward and not knowing really what to do. I know myself. I work every day with many alcoholics and addicts and their family, and it's like, what's next? Um, how many of you have seen that movie Buck Rogers? Where he gets shot out into space like an astronaut and hits some kind of a time warp, and when he comes back, it's like 50 years later, and everything's different, and he's like, "What is this?" Well, for someone that's been using alcohol or substances or living a addictive lifestyle for 5, 10, 20 years, when you stop, you haven't really lived for 5, 10, or 20 years. And so what does life look like at that point, having to start over? I mean, I work with a lot of folks every day that when I bring that up, they're like, oh, I don't even want to think about that. I just want to be sober. I want to go to meetings. And that's great. I think in the initial phase of recovery, whether you're in a treatment center or you're just going to a meeting or seeing a therapist or a doctor, focusing on basic sobriety and building a foundation is important. But what about when that's satisfied and there's a foundation and you're like, what would you like to do with the rest of your life? You're sober now. The door's open, go. And you're like, I haven't done that. I don't even know what that looks like. Happy springtime. Thank you, B. Blessings back to you, too. It was rainy and beautiful here in Los Angeles and Southern Cal today, man. It was amazing. Um, Got rain in the morning, then the sun came out with little clouds, and just been a kind of nice day. Cool, not too hot, not too cold. So thank you. Blessings to you too. Happy springtime to you too. And so, what does it look like to become sober and start to build a life? Um, when I'm working with private clients or their families, it's important to have the discussion about What do you enjoy doing? What do you want to build? I mean, get well jobs are great, but once you get a job, if you're just treading water in sobriety, that's dangerous. Just being sober and not really building a life or for lack of a word, your own empire, however small or big that might look, wherever you're happy and have peace. I'm gonna have to give me one pause. I gotta go and put. Oh nope, get out of here. Oh nope, that didn't work. Why is it being difficult right now? Oh, there we go. I need to put it on do not disturb so I don't have all my clients coming on and interrupting our time. Sorry about that. So one of the things when I'm sitting with a client is we get sober. Right now, I'm working with a young man who just got caught with a lot of weight. For those of you in the lifestyle, you know what I'm talking about. He got caught for possession and for distribution, and it could be real bad or it can be real good. And right now, we're at that stage of working on him going into a detox and getting 30 days of sobriety, just to build a like sober foundation where he and I can start to have a conversation. But then it will begin to grow, like going through the steps with a sponsor or going to therapy or groups, whatever your choice is. I don't force anything on anybody. I mean, but he's did recovery through AA and programs like that, so he's not opposed to that. But while he's doing that, is what do you want to do for a career? Because if he does get out of this court case and end up with probation, if he's lucky, what kind of a path does he want to live so that when he wakes up in the morning, he has something to look forward to doing every day, something that gives him a sense of purpose? I know for me, when I first got sober, I couldn't imagine the life I have now. If you're at home, what's your sobriety look like? How has it grown? What's it look like? How's it happening for you? Is it is your life getting better as a result of getting sober? Or is your family member's life getting better as a result of being sober? Because I think that in the good book, there's a passage that says, my people perish for lack of vision. If I don't have a goal and I don't have a direction, I'm going to continue to go in circles. And a lot of my clients, when I'm working with them in program, have a million things they think they want to do, but they don't settle on any one thing. And so when they leave, they have all these great ideas that go by the wayside and they get bored, they get frustrated, they struggle. And typically that space is dangerous for us and typically leads to a relapse. Um, Unfortunately, I think the more you have, the more you're responsible for, the better your chances are. I mean, there's a balance. There's work, there's recovery, there's self care. But without that, it's very difficult to maintain sobriety. Very, very difficult. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. We're talking about life beyond just being sober to what it looks like to live life sober, to build a life where you have intention and purpose and a passion for showing up, I think the biggest part is how I felt about myself once I got sober. Most of us that struggle with character or self-judgment or questioning ourselves, the more we do positive things, it kind of almost builds self-esteem, it builds courage, it builds character. Like that's what step 6 and 7 is about. um, and so the more we do in a positive direction, the better off it's going to be as far as inside of here and inside of here. And I think those are essential parts of someone's recovery. If you have a loved one that's going through alcohol or substance abuse, it's even more important to support them in growing a healthy life. you know I think that judgment and wrath, those things only continue to perpetuate pain and hurt in people's lives. And healing and forgiveness, understanding and empathy. I'm going to be doing some long form content soon on the brain and addiction, understanding what happens and why we do what we do. Um, it's important for those loved ones to understand that their loved one that's struggling with alcohol and substance abuse isn't doing it to despite them or to hurt them. They're doing it because they've become addicted to a substance that's hijacked their primal core brain system, and they're doing things they don't want to do. There's even a little voice inside that says, hey, this is a really bad idea, but to get my drugs or my alcohol or whatever it is I'm chasing, I'm going to go to any lengths to do that, even if it hurts people. That's the power of alcohol and substance abuse in our lives. Um, every day I'm on the front line working with people like that. If you have a question about recovery or sobriety or something going on in your life, put it in the chat. Let's have a conversation. This is your time. I'm getting used to not trying not to talk as much. I should lower this and put a little sign up here. What's your question? Because this is really about you in your home right now on your phone. What is it you want to learn about alcohol or substance abuse, or how to help your loved one or yourself? That's an essential question that most of us don't ask. Where you at, Autumn? You hear a firework? My little baby girl heard a firework. Come here. Okay, come up here to Dad. You'll be a movie star then. See? There you go, Mama. Okay, there you go. Now you're happy. We're gonna turn this a little bit that way. Sorry about that at home. Autumn wants to. She's got some anxiety around fireworks. I try not to pamper her. She's got a little trauma from being a little baby. Yeah. So yeah, this is tonight. I just wanted to have an open discussion about what life looks like in sobriety for you. What are some things you're gaining or growing in that are sustaining you or giving you hope to show up in the morning? And or if you have any questions around addiction or recovery, sobriety, if you have a loved one you're struggling with, put the question in there and I'll do my best to answer it. I've been doing this a long time. And as an addiction recovery specialist, it's what I do every day of my life. Helping families and their loved ones find a better way out. Build better lives, heal. Hey John, how you doing, brother? Peace. Thank you for coming in and checking in. Yeah, we're just hanging out. I say every Saturday and Wednesday night I'm here with y'all. I'm going to continue to show up. Bad? What's happening, big brother? My dog's kind of freaked out by a firework. Is this something you need help with, brother? If it's not something you want to put there, you can DM me, man. I got you. We'll figure it out. That's what we do here. And if it's a question you can put in there or something you need help with, let's have a conversation. I have to say, if you're following or looking in, no, okay. I'm here if you need to talk. And if you need a 30-minute free consultation, you have a discussion, you can go up into my bio, click on the link in there, and we can set that up. Oh, thank you so much. Yep, Autumn is a beautiful little baby. Yeah, we adopted her, and she's very clingy. I mean, she was raised by the people that took her in because I guess the mom died at birth, and there were 4 puppies, and they nursed them for like 8 weeks before we adopted her. So, thank you. Autumn thinks she's a good girl. Yeah, she don't want nothing to do with no fireworks. She got trauma. Um, but yeah, this is a place where you can come and hang out and talk about anything recovery related or life related. Addiction is much bigger than drugs and alcohol. It's like struggling with our thinking, our judgments of self and others. If there's a destructive thing in our life that's holding us back, it could be an addictive thing. And so this isn't just about drugs and alcohol. It's about helping people build better lives, helping them find something that they want to do and support them in that. One of my clients the other day said, you talk a lot about drugs and alcohol. Let me get up here. But you don't talk a lot about what you do in helping people get sober. And I'm like, well, of course, we got to get sober and then begin to build a game plan around their life and step into it and begin to build that. If you do appreciate any of you watching in right now, if you could subscribe and follow, it goes a long way to helping me expand and grow this station. Um, I don't come in trying to be no know it all. I know a lot of things, but I don't think anybody's a know it all. I just like to have conversations that help people find a better way. Appreciate you, brother. Where are you out of, John? You in the program or you just checking in to say hi? Because this is about you and it's about all anybody that wants to come in here and be a part of this. Eventually it'll grow bigger and bigger over time. That's right. Glad you stopped by, man. If you need anything, shoot me a DM, private message, whatever it takes, I'm here. Life can sometimes be hard. It doesn't have to be alcohol or something. Sometimes we just go through some hard times and trying to do it alone can be very rugged. And I have found that one of the biggest things that helps me is having friends in my life that I can talk to about things and look for solutions. Sometimes just talking about things is good. Oops, excuse me. That seltzer water caught me. Sometimes just being able to talk about things and get out of my head with them is enough to make me feel better, like I'm not alone anymore. And neither are any of you watching in tonight. You're not alone. What's something positive happening in your life that you want to share? Something that you go, I'm grateful for. Something that you can appreciate today. Put it in the chat. Just going to hang out here until we get people rolling through. It's a little slow tonight. I didn't have an advance warning because I worked all day. So, life is a busy, busy thing. And so I made this space just to be available to people to talk. Hey, welcome in. All things addiction, 12 steps, sobriety, beyond sobriety, what it looks like to build a life beyond just being sober. I think a lot of people can get sober. It's the struggle is what do I do once I am sober? And that's one of the things I run into a lot with private clients or clients I work with in treatment centers. So I thought tonight would be a good time to have that conversation. Without a plan or a direction, we end up going in circles, and after a while, that gets boring, and a lot of times we relapse and go back to what we know. So, what's your life and your sobriety and your recovery look like beyond just being sober? Are you building character, building a life, building relationships, building a career, building integrity and character? Those are important things. I think those are the more important things to maintaining sobriety than just not using. Anybody can not use, but what do we do when we stop using, and how do we regain the life that we haven't lived for a long time? How do I find integrity? How do I find self will or self worth or value? How do I forgive myself? Those kind of things. Um, I think sobriety in and of itself and living decent is the beginning of forgiveness for ourselves. Every day I wake up, I know I'm honoring my past and the people I've hurt, including myself. There's a level of forgiveness in there. There's a level of truth that I find in that place that you can't just buy. It's something you have to live. It's a slow night. That's okay. We'll just hang out and chat and appreciate you watching in. Probably go a half hour tonight because I want to get some sleep. Tomorrow's my long day, and I didn't have really time to push this out. Appreciate you watching in. My poor baby girl. What? Yeah, she's a good get you in the screen. Oh, there you go. She's seen herself now. She's like, what's Dad doing? Little Ewok ears. She's soft. Good baby. Hey, welcome in. Just hanging out talking about everything recovery related, appreciating and being grateful for sobriety and maybe for a loved one that's sober, and what life looks like beyond just being sober. What does it look like to rebuild one's life after gaining sobriety? You know, once I stop using or drinking and start healing all the wounds and stuff like that, what do I do with my life? You know, I kind of like this platform because you just be you. People show up, they go, they come. It's nice. I have a pretty good following, but right now it's a little slow tonight. Saturday night's really a hard call, probably one of the harder ones because most people are out with their family or doing things. But I'm still going to be here every Saturday night and every Wednesday night. Maybe even pop in on a random jump in and see what's happening in the world night. But love you all. Appreciate you for showing up. Leaving a comment means a lot. Sometimes the work can be a struggle. It's difficult helping addicts sometimes. But I remember when I was in that spot, somebody helped me. So I show up. Okay, go down a little bit. There you go. You know, sometimes it's just important to show up. Well, it's a sleepy night. I guess God's telling me to go rest, work on some stuff. Welcome in. Peace. Good to see you. Just getting ready to go home. But, you know, if anybody's joining in that wants to put something in chat that you're grateful for, or what your life looks like in sobriety, how it's growing, how you feel different after becoming sober and building that life, appreciate it. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to call it a night. It's a sleepy night. That's okay. I showed up. You showed up. We did the deal. Till next time, peace.